So pre-flight checks on this heli are really easy to do. There's a few things that you need to look over visually before you fly, and then a couple of things that I think you need to just check once when you get a new heli, or if you crash and mess up the servos or something. If you replace any parts, I think you should recheck some of this stuff. So the first thing that I think you should check is just to visually go over the helicopter and make sure everything's all in one piece. Common things that break, you lose these links. These little linkages right here, these can come off and they go flying. So make sure that that's attached on both ends, and check the other one too. Check the swash plate visually, just make sure the balls are still attached to the servos, especially this one back here. Make sure that's attached. These two are attached securely. Check the anti-rotation bracket and make sure that the swash plate is stuck in there correctly. Okay, bracket right there. Check the tail. Make sure that the blades aren't bent or something. These blades can bend in a crash, and then you just bend them back. So it's not a big deal. You just bend them back, but make sure you check that before you fly. And then the last thing that I recommend checking is on this gear down here. If you crash or something, this gear likes to slip off, and it'll slip down on the shaft, and then that lets the whole shaft and head and everything rise up a little bit, and that prevents you from getting positive pitch. Because it changes the relationship between the swash plate and the blade grips. So what you need to do is make sure that that gear is pushed all the way on firmly. And so what I do usually is I put my thumb right on the top of the head up here, and then I put 2 fingers on the gear down below, just like that, and I press up and try to press evenly on both sides, and just make sure that that is pressed together and that you can't move the whole shaft up and down at all. One other thing that I do occasionally on this heli, and I don't know if it matters or not, is I put a little bit of Tri-Flow, which is kind of it's an oil that we use on regular CP helis, and I put a little bit on the balls in the swash plate here, the ball bearing here in the swash plate, and then on the bearings that are inside around the main shaft here, I put a little bit of that there, and then on the bottom bearing as well, I put a little bit of Tri-Flow there too. Now, one thing that you want to check before you fly on this heli is you want to check the blade pitch and make sure that it has the right range. Some folks have reported that they needed to make adjustments on the swash plate balls and on the servos before they could achieve getting 0 pitch and full positive pitch and full negative pitch in the correct spots. So what you want is at 50% on the pitch curve, when that pitch channel I showed earlier is sending 50%, you want to have 0 pitch. And then you want to have equal pitch on either end of the channel as well. So I'm going to show how to check that. Start with your radio turned on, put it in throttle hold mode. Now remember, in throttle hold mode on mine, I've programmed a full range of pitch from positive to negative all the way across. So in mine, I will be able to use the throttle hold mode to check the pitch range and the centering. So I'm going to plug the heli in and let it initialize. Okay. Now remember, I have the throttle hold on, so I can move the collective stick up and down without having the motor start. See? Now another thing you'll notice is I bent the blades. I bent the blades in the blade grips, so both to the same side, so that I can actually visualize the amount of collective pitch that I'm getting. Okay? So this is showing me the amount of collective pitch that I'm actually getting out of the blade grips. Alright? See how that works? Now, if I put in some cyclic, it moves these around a little bit, and you can see how cyclic works that way. This is elevator cyclic. The blades just happen to be facing the other way. But if I use left and right cyclic, you can see what happens. But what I'm checking for is 0 pitch. So it doesn't really matter if I have a little bit of cyclic in there. It's okay. So what I want to do is bring the throttle stick here, the collective stick to 50%. This should give me 50% on the pitch curve, and that should give me 0 pitch on the blades. Now, it looks like it's giving me a little bit of negative pitch still. So it's possible, see that there? So it's possible that I need to make some adjustments, and the way that you do that is take these little swash plate balls off, and so if I need more positive pitch, what I want to do is unscrew these so that the rod's longer, and that will push the swash plate up. Okay. So yeah, it looks like I do have a little bit of negative pitch, and I think I'm gonna do just a few turns. And it doesn't take a whole lot, just 3 or 4 turns on these. And remember, they do have sides, so if you unscrew this, you have to turn it all the way around and stick it back on this way. Don't stick it on backwards. What I did was I actually just needed 1 turn on the ball links, and I think that got me real close to, within tolerance levels of the play in the head. See, it got me 0 pitch, so I like the way that it is there. I think I'll leave it there, and if I need a little more positive pitch, maybe I'll do another turn on those, but I think they came out just about right. If you look at it that way, it looks pretty straight to me. I wanted to show how this goes together. This is very simple. You probably should take this apart once before you fly your heli. We always do this on CP helis. People who fly CP helis know this, but if you are new to CP helis, you may not have heard of this, but we almost always take this part apart and check for Loctite on the feathering shaft screw. It's very important, and we do it universally on other CPs, and so I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be doing it on this. I'm really worried that with a lot of new people flying this heli, we're going to miss this, and we're going to have a lot of blades flying off, and this is going to be a problem. So it can be a safety issue, obviously. So be careful about this, please. Take your heli apart when you get it. Don't fly it. Just take it apart. Check the shaft for Loctite, and get that all squared away. Then you can fly. Okay. Now, I want to show you this washer here. My camera will focus on it. Okay, so that washer there is what we call a step washer, and you can see on one side it's completely flat. Okay, and on the other side you can see that there is a raised portion in the center. And on my heli, when I got it, the raised portion was on the feathering shaft towards the bearing, and that's usually the way we do it, so I think that's all correct, and so that's the way I'm going to do it. Looks like that. So the flat side of the washer will be up against the dampener in the head. Okay, just a tip, easy way to get the blade grip on. Hold it like that with a screwdriver, hold the feathering shaft. Just with a screwdriver like that, and just push it through. Make sure you got your step washer on there first too. Okay, put the step washer on there and just stick it through here like this. Push with the screwdriver.